Good evening, one and all. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns, and also Viksit Bharat 2047 in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing and international and national fraternity. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating Indian Army Day, which is celebrated every year and observed on January 15th every year to recognize the day the British Commander-in-Chief handed over the reins of the Indian Army to the Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa while India got its independence in 1947. This handover only took place in 1949. India has had military capabilities from the time of Indus Valley civilization that flourished between 3300 BC to 1300 BC. Many succeeding dynasties during the time of Alexander and beyond used their military strengths to fight wars and expand territory across the subcontinent. Some of the most famous of these dynasties were Maurya, Satavahana, Gupta, Vijayanagara, Chola, Chalukya, and so on. These dynasties were followed by a series of wars waged between Central Asian armies, which the Mughals considered to originate from the present-day Uzbekistan, eventually won. They went on to establish their empire on the subcontinent. When the East India Company was set up, the territory was divided into presidencies and each had its own army unit. These were Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay. Independent regional kingdoms like Mysore were able to defeat the British army at war and hold on to their territory until the ruler of Mysore, Tipu Sultan, was finally defeated in 1799. During the First World War, 1 million Indians volunteered to fight in the British army and around 90,000 lost their lives. Similarly, almost half of the officers in the battles fought during the World War II were Indian. As the Indian independence movement gained traction in 1946, the loyalties of Indian soldiers became conflicted. Many mutinied against or resigned from the British-led army and navy units. While the Indianization of the armed forces under the British continued well into the country's independence, the final handover took place on January 15, 1949, and this is the day we celebrate. Dhanurveda, the text translates to science of archery, is considered as an ancient classic in the field of martial arts and, of course, archery. Dates between 1100 BC to 800 BC as per top historians. The first commander-in-chief Kajandera M. Kariappa becomes the first India's first field marshal, taking over from his British counterpart, General Francis Butcher, in 1949. India fights its first war against China, which ends after China declares a unilateral ceasefire. The Sino-Indian War is fought in 1962. India's most recent war is fought at Kargil when Pakistani troops across the line of control and capture territories belonging to India in 1999. So while there are many countries that celebrates their army or armed forces on special days, there is no record of a specific day or date intentionally. The chief of the army staff is commanded by a general with Manoj Kumar Mukund Narvane holding the rank since 2019. The President of India, Ramnath Kovind, formerly served as Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces India, appointed in its first Chief of Defence Staff only in 2020, with General Bipin Rawat holding the post. So the Indian Army puts on a military parade and gives out gallantry awards at Kariappa Parade Ground in Delhi Cantonment. The ceremony is streamed live on the public broadcasting service, Doordarshan and All India Radio, and it is also live streamed on YouTube and Twitter. So there have been a few acclaimed books published recently that delve into more neglected, detailed aspects of Indian troops engaged in the world wars. One such book is India's War, World War II, and Making of Modern South Asia, written by Srinath Raghavan. Another is The Farthest Field, an Indian story of the Second World War, written by Raghu Karnad. While we have provided a glimpse, there is so much to uncover about India's long military history and its evolution across civilizations, dynasty, and conquest. So choose your favorite period in Indian history or the one you know at least about and look up the political and military history of that time. The Chola dynasty, with its seat in the present day South India, was the first in the Indian subcontinent to have naval powers from the 9th century AD. The Mysore army, commanded by Tipu Sultan, developed iron cased and metal cylinder rockets, which were successfully deployed against the British East India Company. While the title of general denotes the head of the army in India, a field marshal is a special five-star rank that has only been awarded to Sammanikeshav and later to K.M. Kariappa. India has had two field marshals. Captain Tania Shergill is the first Indian woman to be the parade adjutant at the 2020 Army Day function, a women-led parade. India is a major troop contributing country to peacekeeping missions of the United Nations and has participated in 49 of 71 missions. Indian soldiers are international peacekeepers. So even though India got its independence in 1947, the official handover of the Indian Army did not take place until 2 years later, 1949. India also declared its own constitution and became republic in 1950. This reminds us that the independence was not won in a day and was part of a lengthy process. India's military leaders have bravely fought wars along the borders and have kept country's security intact. One of the reasons Field Marshal Kariappa was awarded his special rank even after retirement was due to stellar leadership and service he provided in the territorial battles of Kashmir after independence. So the Indian Army has a rich history of contributing to international warfare and security issues even before independence. The region has a rich military history even before India was a British colony. When it was a collection of different kingdoms and states, there was a wealth of material available in various formats that we can consume both online and offline. It's a chance to read up on our army on this day. So once again, we pay tribute to all the lives who have been sacrificed and also to appreciate the efforts of the army on this Army Day. And it also coincides with the festival, Harvest Festival, which commemorates both the great sacrifices of the nation, great contributors of the nation. One is the farmer and another is the army man. So Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. This week is also commemorated as Energy Saving Week in UK from January 15 to 21st. Energy Saving Week is celebrated from January 15 to 21st. It's tough to ignore the reality that energy prices are rising for majority of UK citizens this year. Prices for most UK families are poised to climb significantly as part of current gas price crisis, and with a change to energy cap approaching this year, Energy Saving Week is a national initiative that aims to aid and encourage individuals to save energy while also lowering fuel expenses. This week focuses on educating the public on how to switch to energy suppliers or tariffs to get the best price, get savings, and make houses more energy efficient. Saving energy at home may lower both carbon emissions and energy expenses, urging people, schools, and organizations around the UK to help in making a difference. Energy Saving Week is a countrywide program aimed at assisting individuals in lowering their fuel costs. It attempts to create awareness about energy efficiency, encouraging consumers and companies to learn more about switching energy suppliers or tariffs to obtain the best price or access discounts. Organized by the Energy Saving Trust and Citizens Advice Bureau to raise awareness and provide support for households to become more energy efficient, to help manage energy costs and protect the planet by reducing emissions. Simple modifications such as tweaking heating settings or switching to LED lighting are predicted to save homeowners over €100 per year on their expenses and contribute to the UK attaining net zero emissions by 2050. The Council has made a variety of initiatives available to help homeowners take action on climate change and decrease their energy use. These include programs to assist people in making their houses more energy efficient, giving lower rates on solar panels, providing residents with an advising service to help them conserve energy in their homes, and assisting individuals facing financial difficulties with their energy bills. Throughout Energy Saving Week, the Energy Saving Trust will bring together organizations from throughout the United Kingdom to provide easy and practical suggestions to help homes conserve energy, decrease their bills, and minimize the environmental impact of our energy consumption. Saving energy unquestionably improves one's quality of life, reduce carbon emissions, imply better air, a healthier earth, and saving of our limited resources. Unplugging equipment when not in use, turning off excess lights in a room, and choosing public transportation instead of driving are few instances of energy saving. It will save you a lot of money. Better insulation results in reduced heat loss, warmer houses, and cheaper utility costs. Being conscious of unnecessary energy consumption will assist you in saving it. Why not take advantage of the changing seasons? In the autumn, instead of blasting the AC, when the weather cools, opens your windows instead of utilizing artificial illumination during golden hour. Sit near window to do your job. Not only do these activities save your energy cost, but exposure to sunlight and fresh air also enhances your mood and health. According to Energy Star, LED light bulbs consume up to 90% less energy than incandescent lighting. There are also a wise investment because they last 35 to 50 times longer than incandescent bulbs. Examining your insulation, windows, and doors is one of the most effective ways of renovating your home for efficiency. Redoing it may be costly, but not as much as the annual heating bills will be. Solar energy is one of the most secure, environmentally friendly ways to power lighting, air conditioners, geysers, heaters, and other devices. So, power your whole house with solar energy, which is cheaper and environment friendly. Most popular form of new electricity is because of the lower cost and increasing efficiency of solar panels. Power has fast become the primary source of new electricity. Solar energy dramatically lowers the number of fossil fuels required in power generation, resulting in less pollution in the atmosphere. Solar energy benefits the world's health. There are federal incentives such as solar tax credit, as well as state and municipal rebates and incentives to assist in reducing the cost of adopting solar. So you don't have to buy solar panels instantly. So hanging clothing on lines, cloth racks, and other sun exposed surfaces is original method of drying garments. So clothes used to be air dried, saving energy costs. So when you minimize your energy environment, you reduce your environmental effect. The longer we wait to make meaningful changes, the bigger the threat of global warming and climate change to our daily life becomes. Energy Saving Week promotes the significance of energy saving for all people, whether they are children or elderly. The whole family is held accountable. One way that energy saving might help you to save money is by lowering your power costs. A few easy modifications, ranging from the sorts of equipment you use to power plant you use, may have a substantial influence on how much your energy bills will cost you. Today is also commemorated as Alpha Kappa Alpha Day in US, which is celebrated on January 15th annually since the sorority's inception more than a century ago. It is the first female sorority and has the honor of housing many great black women in the US. While it has its competition, its members are quite exceptional. So Kamala Harris, the first black woman to occupy the office of vice president in the US, is a sister. So every year since early 20th century, January 15th had been celebrated as Alpha Kappa Alpha Day. The history of day's celebration follows the history of creation of the sorority. For over a century, this day has been consecutively celebrated, created on January 15, 1908 at Harvard University, aka was a product of a black woman's dream of support network where fellow female black college students would find the necessary support they needed to live and study successfully in a complex, unfair, and racist college system. Ethel Headman's search for liberation for her fellow black college colleagues at Harvard University produced the first female Greek lottery sorority, while other female sororities existed before then and many others sprang up after. AK has a rich history that quite unmatched by others. On one hand, it is the sorority that the female college students around the US related on. On the other hand, it holds a record breaking history. It presently has an approximate membership of over 30,000, 3 lakhs across the US and other countries. Some of the many notable alumni of AK include the famous black poet Maya Angelou, who in 1969 published I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Coretta Scott King, the wife of 20th century activist Martin Luther King Jr., Katherine G. Johnson, Philippa Rashad, Rosa Parks, and many others. In 2021, AKA became the only female Greek letter sorority to produce a vice president. Kamala Harris holds the position of the only woman to occupy the second highest seat possible in the White House. These and many other achievements from the Sisters of AKA make the sorority widely acknowledged, not only in the US, but also in South Africa, Canada, Japan, Germany, South Korea, United Arab Emirates, Liberia, Nigeria, and others. So if there's sorority for black women in your college, join one today. It's harmless and entirely beneficial. Remember all those great black women who were members of AKA? Today's good day to read extensively about them and see how they shaped their lives from college. Why not contact AKA headquarters and try to form a branch in your college? Black female colleagues there will be forever be grateful. The largest sorority, Chi Omega, remains the largest sorority by the number of initiates, while Alpha Kappa Alpha remains the most historical. Members at most corporations, over 85% of America's largest corporations, are headed by fraternity men. Almost every US president and vice president from the mid 19th century have been members of fraternity, like presidents and VPs belong to one. Nearly all student leaders on about 1,000 campuses belong to fraternity sorority. Student leaders are members. So fraternity and sorority members generally have a higher GPA in college than non-members. So members of AKA and all other sororities consider themselves sisters, making them united in all situations. The sorority provides academic and career support to its members. This ensures that each of them becomes successful in various endeavors. No one can deny the socializing opens great paths for those who engage in it. Alpha Kappa creates a forum for its all members to socialize, create beneficial and lasting networks. Today is also commemorated as Museum Selfie Day in US, started by London blogger Mark Dixon. The Museum Selfie Day trend has gone worldwide and spawned a plethora of creative posts on social media ever since. Museums, archaic by nature, have always moved slowly to adopt new rules. Their no photography signs were implemented to discourage flash pictures, which degrade the quality of conserved works. But in today's world of high sensitivity smartphone cameras, many more museums are relaxing their rules on photography in an effort to encourage more engagement with the public. Museum Selfie Day on January 15th is a perfect opportunity for people to get creative. Whether you are posing with your favorite dinosaur skeleton or photoshopping yourself into a famous painting, whether you are making light of a serious topic or making a serious with a light one, there are only a few museums in the world where taking a selfie is really inappropriate. We really like the selfies where people pretend that exhibit of, say, William Shakespeare took the picture themselves. So, but not like that Ben Stiller movie, Night of the Museum. Exploring a museum with social media in mind gives the opportunity to connect to its exhibitors with your friends and networks. It gives the exhibits themselves broader reach rather than being stuck in time. Mark Zuckerberg was often spoken about the desire for Facebook to connect people to things broader than themselves. This is a perfect example of how you can use it to do that. So smartphone cameras are able to function in the most challenging photographic circumstances, areas where it might once have been too dark to take a selfie or too difficult to carry a camera are open as possible areas to explore as the technology improves. And don't forget video selfies, low motion selfies, and all other kinds of filtered selfies available. We can all do something new and unique with our valuable cultural history. Today is also commemorated as Wikipedia Day on January 15th. Is an occasion that celebrates the birth and formation of this site. Almost every single person on this world knows that Wikipedia is whoever is using internet. When we search for something, a Wikipedia link is the first thing that pops up in our search engines. It is also a popular site since it provides in-depth information and presents everything in a user-friendly way. So without further ado, let's dedicate this day to the information provider that has been feeding us with knowledge since day one. Happy Wikipedia Day. So there has been a time when students and researchers would need to go through tons of books in a library to attain information regarding a certain topic. This was a time when the internet had not reached the heights of innovation it has today. However, the world as we know it completely evolved when the search engine was formed and numerous websites were created to provide people with information regarding several topics. One of these famous websites is Wikipedia, also known as the Free Internet Encyclopedia, overseen by the non-profit Wikimedia Foundation. The website is recognized for facilitating the creation and development of articles. So it all started when Jimmy Wales established Gomis Inc., a web portal company, in 1996. By March 2000. Wales had introduced Nupedia to the world. This was a free online encyclopedia that has an editor-in-chief and a team of individuals who were reviewing the information published in 2001. Nupedia was supplemented with the Wiki software, and Wikipedia was launched as a feature of Nupedia.com. However, after several discussions, Wikipedia was relaunched as an independent website and managed to publish over 20,000 articles in its first year. This included work in 18 different languages such as French, German, Polish, Dutch, Hebrew, Chinese, and Esperanto. Today, it has become one of the most visited sites in the globe and has information regarding almost every single topic of interest. However, schools and universities do not permit the use of Wikipedia in terms of papers due to lack of proper references used by the site. So January 15, 2001, since the site was established and edited on this day is celebrated as Wikipedia's birthday. The founders of Wikipedia are Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger. Wikipedia makes money not through ads, but through donations by readers as well as merchandise sales. Wikipedia relies on users to fix the articles. The administrators of the page can block people. In 2010, Wiki Commons showed illegal depictions of sexual acts involving children. That also created a huge issue, and later on, it took all measures to prevent any such acts. So this day highlights the importance of Wikipedia, how it helps people and why it is so famous throughout the world. The day also looks at the issues of the site. Since the pages can be edited by users, they are not considered reliable sources in the world of academia. But still, if you cross-check, you can find good amount of information. The day serves the purpose of encouraging people to come up with the unique website ideas of their own. Anything we considered odd and can make big if presented correctly. So today is also commemorated as National Strawberry Ice Cream Day in US. As the name suggests, it's time to try some strawberries in your ice cream. It's more traditional to eat your ice cream with strawberries as a topping. Strawberries are also popular complement to chocolate and cream. So many other desserts. This day, however, celebrates strawberries in their delectable ice cream form. Today is also commemorated as National Pathol Day in UK. Is an observance that highlights the ever-growing problem of potholes on our roads. There is nothing more irritating than trying to avoid potholes while driving down the road. The only thing that could be worse could be driving in a heavy downpour while swerving to avoid them. National Pathol Day was established to bring attention to the ever-increasing pothole menace on our highways. Potholes are a constant nuisance for drivers everywhere, yet they have been around since the dawn of the time, and the name has been in use for centuries. Each day it seems like a new pothole appears on the roads you frequently use, making your journey increasingly dangerous. Modern potholes are a result of excessive wear caused by rain and sun, as well as repetitive vehicle movement across the road. Hot patch is frequently employed to repair it. But when the road swells and contracts due to changing heat, this makeshift patch is often pushed out again and during the next heavy downpour. So potholes have been around for a while, and the name stems from the roads that were created during the Roman Empire's reign. Pottery producers in 1400s and 1500s in England took the advantage of the ruts carved into roadways by wagon and coach wheels. They would dig further into deep ruts to uncover day clay deposits beneath in their search for cost-effective source of raw materials for crafting clay pots. Teamsters who drove wagons and coaches across the roads were aware of who or what produced the holes, which is why they called them potholes. Aside from the harsh and fluctuating winter weather conditions causing havoc on the roads, drivers too play a part. Water causes cracks, potholes, as well as uh, other issues what make traveling unpleasant, but we all contribute to the problem by driving our cars every day, even while lamenting the condition of the roads. Roads really aren't permanent structures. Regular use and the weight of the road traffic will damage them over time. As the roads we drive on age, they will deteriorate more and more, resulting in new potholes. So potters in 1400s and 1500s give potholes their name as they create holes in the roads while trying to access clay deposits in 1400 to 1500 century. A coal miner discovers the 42 feet wide and 38 feet deep Arcbait pothole in the eastern Pennsylvania in 1884. Vehicle use rises in popularity and the term pothole became commonplace in America in 1909. New York City's daily pothole mill and pave claims to have completed repairs on 70,858 potholes across the city as of May 18 in 2020. One of the most common causes of infamous pothole is winter weather. This is because roads are made up of more than just asphalt on the top layer. There's also a large pile of rocks and soil underneath. Whenever it rains, the water can sometimes penetrate into asphalt. Usually, potholes can be avoided if preservation techniques are applied in time before significant damage occurs. The most crucial method of preventing potholes is to seal gaps in the asphalt. So, when there is heavy rainfall and thunderstorms, the water collects on the roads. When moisture penetrates the foundation beneath the asphalt, potholes begin to form, the layer will weaken and ultimately wear down as a result of this. The best way to observe this day is to draw attention to the presence of potholes on our roads. You can find your own unique approach to creating awareness of the dangers of potholes. The steady movement of vehicles on our roads contribute to the creation of potholes. Take the bus or take a walk, one thing's for sure, the roads will be thanking you. So research about causes of potholes and apply your newfound knowledge. Share the information with others. Little drops can leave a lasting impact. According to AAA survey, 16 million drivers throughout the country had their vehicles damaged by potholes between 2013 and 2018 stuck in the mud. The average cost of repairing pothole related vehicle damage in the US is around $300, which is high cost. The United States estimates that suggests that are over 55 million potholes, which are outnumbered. People all around the world have devised ingenious ways to bring attention to potholes. Chicago artist Jim Baker covered potholes with ice cream mosaics. So AAA reveals that pothole damage costs Americans $3 billion per year, even higher costs. So when we invest in our local roads, they kick back a decent economic return. Local economies are stimulated when our local roads are at their functional best. We get more conscious of our environment when we focus on issues such as this one. We get to evaluate our impact on the environment and see how we can contribute making things better. It's no secret that potholes are dangerous. Swerving to avoid these nasty holes can land you in a lot of trouble. By raising awareness and encouraging action, we make our roads safe. Today is also commemorated as National Hat Day in US. Hats have been worn as uniforms, fashion accessories, and protective gear. In the Middle Ages, hats were a marker of social status and used to single out certain groups. So in the middle of 1920s, the women began to cut their hair short. They chose hats that hugged their head like a helmet. So these were the cloche hats whose low brim made it so women had to walk with their chins up, creating an air of independence and self-reliance. So 51% wear baseball caps regularly. The most popular style of hat today is the baseball cap. In fact, 51% of hat wearers say that they wear this shade provided regularly prior to the hat becoming a part of everyday casual use. People would don the headgear for practical reasons. Laborers and working men needed to keep their hair out of eyes and also, of course, of baseball players. The cap was designed to shade baseball players' eyes from the sun. 10% of your body is your head. Remember that old age about being able to lose 70% of your body heat through your head? Well, surprisingly, that's not true. The head actually not only accounts for 10% of person's body area, so it's quite impossible to lose up to 70% of body heat. However, a 10% of cold area is still enough to shiver. So make sure you keep your head warm during colder seasons with a nice woolen beanie. 26% of Americans claim they actually never wear hats. We know it's hard to take in, but some people just prefer to let their hair blow in the wind or to embrace the rays of sun, or they just never had bad hair days, possibly which makes us extremely jealous. Not everyone. So people look great in hats. Hats protect your skin and hats keep you warm. Today is also commemorated as National Fresh Squeezed Juice Day in US, which is celebrated on January 15th. It is an ode to the restorative properties of fresh and natural fruit and vegetable juices and a reminder for us to include more often in our diet. Fresh squeezed juice can be more delicious and for some of us an easier way of consuming vitamins and minerals. The first occurrence of this day and it advocates are unknown. The word juice itself comes from Old French. The word jus, juice, or joyce are referred to the liquid obtained from boiling herbs. In many other cultures and civilizations, it referred to other liquids such as broth, soups, or even sauces. In the 14th century, juice was recorded as a watery part of fruits or vegetables, bringing into alignment with the current meaning of the word. However, the meaning further changed through the ages, coming to the mean liquor. In the 19th century, it was even recorded as being used as a term for electricity in the same period. The term reverted to the meaning the liquid extracted from fruits and vegetables. When juicer was invented in the 1930s by Norman Walker, Walker was born in Italy and moved to New York in 1910. Upon becoming seriously ill, he consulted William Baum, a chiropractor and physical therapist who recommended him to switch to raw vegetarian diet. This is when he invented an innovatively engineered juice. juicer that is still in demand today. He founded the Norwalk Laboratory of Nutritional Chemistry and Scientific Research and conducted research on the nutritional quality of juices. Today, juices are part of diets across the world, with orange being a staple in American breakfast. There are many kinds of juicers that are able to extract vital nutrients from fruits and vegetables without losing them to heat. So, the hydraulic Triturator juicer developed by Walker does a great job of this. Others included twin gear juicers and slow juicers. Today is also commemorated as National Booch Day in US, also known as the National Kombucha Day. The day aims to provide Booch fans with an opportunity to simply unwind and sip on their favorite tea. Yes, several flavors of tea are available. If you haven't tried kombucha tea before, now it's a time to give it a shot because the tea is full of probiotics and vitamins that were meant to elevate your health. The tea was given the name kombucha after a man, Dr. Kombu, brought the beverage to Japanese Emperor Inyoku during his travels. After the tea became famous, the term cha was added to Dr. Kombu's name. The term cha means tea in Japanese. Based on the myths of ancient times, the tea was presumed to give a samurais a great deal of energy during battle. When the tea finally reached Europe in 1900, it gained instant popularity due to its rumored health benefits. For those who haven't tried the tea is a unique mixture of sweet and sour. It is also often compared with wine and apple cider. The tea is created from a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast, SCOBY. Once kombucha reached the US, it became a household name. Hence, the beverage brand Kevita saw it as a perfect business opportunity and decided to launch their brand of kombucha tea. The National Booch Day was founded on January 15, 2019 by the same company. Today is also commemorated as National Bagel Day in US. The rounds of dough can be found just about anywhere: breakfast joints, coffee shops, supermarkets, or even kitchen pantry. In fact, in 2018, more than 354 million bagels were sold. Bagels have a long and highly documented history that travels from Jewish families of Poland and in the 1600s to the wrapped up in the parchment paper in your hands today. While bagels were hugely popular in New York City almost immediately, they didn't make their way to national scale until the 20th century, where automation and bread slicing, the coolest thing, made mass manufacturing much more efficient. Since then, bagels have made off to include a variety of flavors, toppings, dips, and smears, but still remain by and large exactly as they were in 1600s. So 50%, 54% of Americans eat fresh bagels. While it may be convenient to stock up on store-bought, it is clear that we have a preferred palate for freshly baked bagels. 77% make them a meal of bagels are eaten as a main dish for whichever meal that may be. These hearty rings of fresh dough are sustainable enough to. 75% like them toasty. 75% of bagels eaters prefer their warmed up and will gladly buy a fresh, hot one over anything cold. With nearly 90% of users putting cream, cheese, butter, or some kind of topping on it, it is clear that the contrast between hot and cold is desired method of bagel consumption. Bagels are actually type of bread which is different from a donut, which is type of fried dough. There are countless varieties from bagels weaved with a cinnamon raisin swirl to classic everything bagel. There is always a variety to satisfy your sweet or savory cravings. The chewy and dense texture makes bagels a perfect vehicle for topping spreads, anything else delicious you can think of. So today is the third day of Sankranti, which is also celebrated as Matu Pongal or Kanuma. This is a day where the animals, especially cattle, it is cows and oxes, are worshipped as they are part of family members because they take part in the agricultural activities and contribute a lot. So the Kanma festival, which is an important festival, Harvest Fest, part of Harvest Festival, celebrates cattle worship. It takes place on the third day of the harvest, Makar Sankranti. Farmers hold this festival in high esteem, celebrating with significant fervor and enthusiasm. Hindi mythology imbues the day with particular importance. It commemorates the legendary event when Lord Krishna protected the inhabitants of Gokulam from a severe flood. Legend states that on this day, Lord Krishna persuaded the villagers to worship Govardhan Hill, which induced the rainfall they desperately needed. This action, however, provoked Lord Indra, the deity of rain, leading him to inundate the village with a violent storm as retribution. In response, Krishna safeguarded the villagers and their livestock by lifting the massive Govardhan hill with a single finger, providing them shelter. Upon recognizing his error, Indra seized the downpour. To appease Indra further, Krishna initiated a Govardhan Puja. The Kanma festival has since been celebrated to honor the divine intervention. On this day, devoted to cattle reverence, farmers start their day early bathing and adorning their cattle with ornaments and vividly painting their horns, subsequently decorating cattle, and are taken to nearby temples for ritualistic worship. Another notable aspect of Kanuma festival includes, cow races, bullfights, and wagons on the animals to showcase their vigor and valor. But unfortunately, nowadays it is becoming a more of a gambling activity because of this politics getting involved. So we all have responsibility to preserve the culture and keep away these gambling and political activities away from it. So we should not criticize any festival as such because of the some social evil component being part of it. So it's all our responsibility to ensure that whatever social evils are creeping, like drinking, smoking, prostitution, and all kind of this dating, and all these are nowadays becoming more of social evils, which are promoting crime and all sorts of social issues. So these needs to be prevented. Unless and until you prevent these, social crimes and social deviance continue to rise, creating a lot of issues. So this festival also showcases the festive spirit and community participation. The Kanuma festival highlights the role of cattle in agriculture, symbolizing prosperity and gratitude towards these animals. The festival also underscores the region's rich cultural heritage with its blend of mythology, rituals, and community celebrations, strengthening the bond between the farmers and livestock and families. So today we'll also look at the Puranic significance of Mahakumbh, which is being held from 13 January till 26 February. The origin of Mahakumbh Mela was transcribed by the 8th century philosopher Adi Shankaracharya. The founding myth of the Kumbh Mela points out to Puranas, compilations of ancient legends. It recounts how gods and demons fought over the sacred pitcher, Kumbh, of Amrit, nectar of immortality, called the Ratna of Samudra, Manthan. It is widely believed that Lord Vishnu, disguised as the enchantress Mohini, whisked the Kumbh out of the group of the covetous demons who had tried to claim it. As he took it heavenwards, a few drops of the precious nectar fell on the four sacred sites we know as Haridwar, Ujjain, Nashik, and Prayagraj. The fight and the flight and the following pursuit is said to have lasted 12 divine days, which is equivalent to 12 human years, and therefore the Mahamela is celebrated every 12 years. So Kumbh Mela is celebrated every 12 years, staggered at each of the four sacred sites in the cycle. So every time it changes, the place changes every time. So this year it is at Prayagraj, and the next turn would be another place, one among the four, similar, based on the astronomical science and transits. The corresponding rivers are believed to have turned into Amrut at the cosmic moment, giving pilgrims the chance to bath in the essence of purity, auspicious, and immortality. That's why we see, even we have seen in just 2 days, more than it is estimated that around 3.5 to 5 crore people has already taken baths in just 2 days of starting of Kumbh festival. And we have seen people across different religions, especially Christians, Muslims, not only just Hindus. Hindus anyway, they are part of it, but Jains and across the world, not just in India, we have seen people coming from all over the world and have taken dips and holy baths and enjoying the spiritual gathering because they know that Sanatana Dharma is the oldest Dharma on the planet, which is universal Dharma, and Hinduism is the oldest religion from where a deviation of all these religions have sprouted up from the religion. And because of a significance that this is not human created or a man created, but it is by the nature itself. So people are thronging to India, to Allahabad, that is Prayagraj, for being part of this Mahakumbh Mela, which this year there is a significance of occurring the festivity which takes place once in 144 years. So it's a one-time opportunity for everyone on this planet because generally the average lifespan of any person is around 60 to 100 years. Beyond that, it is a very rare phenomenon that a person lives. So for the next 144 years, Mahakumbh Mela, most of us would not be there. So this is wonderful opportunity. That's why, because citizens and people from across the world, irrespective of their country, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their caste, irrespective of their belief system, everyone is coming to take part and seek the blessings of the nature, environment, and also the sacred rivers and the rituals. So Mahakumbh is one of the most sacred pilgrimages even for Hindus and of course for everyone on the planet. It became a matter of research among scholars when the legend of Kumbh began, attracting millions of pilgrims from across the world. However, it is an established fact that Prayag has been the center stage of Kumbh, and an event of such grand scale does not culminate in one day but gradually develops over a period of time. The term Kumbh comes from the root Kumbha, the sacred picture of exile or immortality. There is a mention of Kumbh and bathing ritual associated with it in the Rig Veda, verse 10.89.7. It speaks the benefits of bathing at Sangam during this period, elimination of negative influences and regeneration of mind and soul. Prayers for the Kumbh are also expressed in Atharvana Veda and Yajurveda. Historic evidence points towards the rule of King Harshavardhana from centuries 590 to 647 AD as the time when Kumbh Mela got widespread recognition across geographies. Famous traveler Song Song has prominently mentioned the grandeur of the Kumbh Mela in his travelogue. The traveler's account also summarizes King Harsha's charities at the confluence of holy rivers, where he gave gifts and donations to the scholars and sannyasis. King Harsh used to hold a great quinquennial assembly on the sands of the holy confluence at Prayagraj and would distribute all his possessions. Moreover, the historical texts also point towards evidence that Adi Shankaracharya established 10 akharas at the Kumbh and Kumbh Mela. The Kumbh Mela at Prayagraj is widely considered as the most significant among all the Kumbh festivals held at other locations. It is considered as a source of light and knowledge. It is believed that the Prajapati Brahma performed Ashwamedha Yajna at Dashashwamedha Ghat, situated on the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna, and created the universe, due to which it is the most famous and significant among all other Kumbh festivals. So, elemental meaning of the Kumbh is the confluence sangam of all cultures in the universe, a spiritual conscience, a flow of humanity, a flow of rivers, forests, and rishis culture, the flow of life, the communion of nature and human life, the source of energy, and the path of enlightenment. So let's all be part of the wonderful spiritual gathering of Mahakumbh, either physically or virtually. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. We request everyone to quickly fill out the feedback form before leaving the platform. So see you all tomorrow at the same time. Take care. Good night.